How's it going, everybody? It's your man, the legend, System Lighting here on set. I'm outdoor set. uh, Currently babysitting, putting these props in. You know how it goes, man. You got kids. Anyways, last night we got hammered with the bets. It was not in a good way either. We didn't do so well. Not all of them hit. In fact, none of them hit. It happens. Now, luckily for that last game, the Nuggets versus Timberwolves game, the one I told you was going to be a bloodbath. If you did place your bets with Hard Rock, make sure you call their customer service. I was able to get a refund on my initial bet due to both players exiting versus on injury. So yeah, I would highly recommend if you're somebody who used the pre-populated parlays that I put up for that Denver Nuggets game, please go ahead and contact whoever your sports book is and let them know that hey man, both players exited earlier due to injury and they were able to credit my account. So hopefully you two can have the same advantage. Now, with that being said, I got a 4-pack of games today. Started with 1 o'clock. We're gonna go ahead and give them to you. And we also got a spicy meatball that pays out pretty well. All right, here we go. Starting off, all right, so for that 1 o'clock game, it's the Cavs versus Raptors. We got an 11-legger. It pays out at plus 900. It's Barnes for 5 assists and 15 points. AJ Barrett for RJ Barrett for 4 assists and 15 points. James Harden, the beard, for 15 points and two threes. Mitchell for 3 assists. Allen for 10 points. Max Strus for 2 threes and 3 rebounds. And Mobley for 10 points. It looks just like this. All right, cool. Next, we got Spurs versus Trailblazers. This one is interesting because Wemby's supposed to possibly be coming back. Now, the way I'm going to take this angle on this is that Wemby will be back, or I mean, won't be back. And if he is, it's not going to really for the full minutes that he's used to. He's got to work himself back in the game form. So we got Spurs versus Trailblazers. We got Scoot Henderson for 10 points, Holiday for 10 points, Castle for 15 points, Klingon for 7 rebounds, Avija for 15 points, Fox for 15 points, and Vassell for 10 points. That 7-legger pays out at plus 350, and it looks like this. Now, the reason, again, why I was safe on this one is Wemby may or may not come in, and I wanted to make sure that I got numbers that were compatible with times when he was in versus times when he was not in. So the numbers that we got are pretty much standard numbers for when he's been out. All right, moving on. We've got another matchup, 7 o'clock. Celtics versus 76ers. Now, this is going to be electric, y'all. This is almost do or die for the 76ers. They need to make this happen. All right. So we got Andre Drummond for 5 rebounds, VJ Edgecombe for 10 points, Jason Tatum for 15 points, Jaylen Brown for 20 points, Tyrese Maxey for 20 points, Kelly Oubre for 10 points, Paul George for 15 points, Vucevic for 1 3 and 4 rebounds. Again, that pays out at plus 400, and that 9-legger looks like this. All right, that leads us to the last game of the night, Lakers versus Rockets. This one didn't do well for us last time. Unfortunately, we had some guys who didn't make their hits. Kamara, oh my goodness, man. Anyways, so we got Ahmed Thompson for 15 points, Jabari Smith for 15 points and 4 rebounds, LeBron James for 5 rebounds and 15 points, Luke Kennard for 10 points and 1 3, Sengun for 15 points and 4 assists. Again, this is a safer bet than the other ones. It's only 7 lower legs. It pays out a plus 525, and it looks like this. So you'll notice that as the playoffs go on, these teams start to know each other more and more in these matchups, and the size of these parlays start to decrease and go from 10-leggers to 8-leggers to 7-leggers. And that's just because, again, these teams know each other more and more often. Injuries occur, as in the case of Wemby, where tertiary and third-string players need to come in and make an impact, who don't typically make an impact, who don't have data for. So it does make it a little bit more challenging. But hey, that's the name of the game. So let's go on and get to this spicy pick. All right. Go ahead and make sure you get some water. Here we go. So this one is going to be towards that 7 o'clock game, Celtics versus 76ers, because it's such a pivotal matchup.
Water. We need some water. These picks are way too spicy.
Very, very similar to that spicy one we had last time, where Paul George got a 0 rebounds. 0 rebounds. Yeah, yeah. So a lot of it's like that, but we're not even gonna include Paul George in this one at all. But we are gonna take a different approach. So here we go. Andre Drummond for 1 3 and 5 rebounds. Tyrese Maxey for 2 threes. Oubre for 3 rebounds. We got Vucevic for 1 3 and 4 rebounds. Jason Tatum for 2 threes. Jaylen Brown for 1 3. And this is the kicker, y'all. We got Derek White going under 13.5 points. Now he hasn't scored over that in the past month. I want to say he's done it maybe one time in the past month of gameplay. That's before the playoffs and including the playoffs. So, hey, it's called a gamble for a reason. So that's why it's so spicy. And it looks just like this. All right. Well, hey, I hope you guys some good luck today. Keep it going. We got more games tomorrow. We still got money left in the bankroll for those games based on what we hit earlier in the week. So hey, let's bet smart, have fun. Till the next time, Legend out.